What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Gray. And this is Gray Area Anime. Listen, I love this show. Especially because we get to bring in, so many cool guests, amazing guests, my friends, my family. This is a family episode. I've brought in my other sister, my little sister. Young Deisha is in the building, people. And if you know anything about me, which by now you should.
Okay. Sorry.
This is another installment of Teach Me Senpai.
Wait a minute. Now I have to interject here. Okay,
You want me to tell them their first?
no,
name that
I just
So
don't
I don't think you should
understand
interject.
why you get to say it that way
I don't think you should
after
interject.
I submitted and I didn't even say it in an inappropriate way. Okay, I didn't say it that way. Okay, that was rude and disrespectful.
That's exactly how you said
That's
it.
not how I said it. Maybe that's how it came across in your
No,
mind.
'cause you
you
leveled up to
perv. No.
You gained lechery
Oh God.
because
Okay,
you were a lecher.
Fine. Whatever. Go on.
Anyway, this is another installment of Teach Me Senpai, where we take noobs and hopefully make them masters of watching anime. Because I am Dr. Icarus Gray.
I was gonna say that's pretty ambitious, isn't it?
It was an ambitious thing to get this PhD in anime. And I did it.
Okay.
10,000 hours to be a master, and I am well over that, my dear.
This is true.
Well over that. Years of anime. Years, I say.
I'd say that voice levels up your lechery. Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so we had Deisha watch Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. It's an amazing anime. Basically, I'll give a small synopsis because I don't want to give too much away because I want Deisha to be able to ask her questions because she's more of a noob than my sister is, or than Sarita is. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Like, it's just, having watched Dragon Ball Z and things is not as, anyway, doesn't matter. So, basic premise. Give me the title character's name, because I think it starts with an M, and I cannot remember.
Midori.
It is Midori.
Asakusa.
Just the Midori. Just the Midori.
It's got
just
two
the
names.
Midori.
Okay.
Just the Midori.
I'll go back into my
It's the
corner.
first and the last name. Because all you're going to do is butcher it.
Doing my best here, guys. Okay.
So anyway, Midori is a young animator.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, she wants to make anime, and that is the general premise of the entire thing. Is she wants to make anime, and she begins to meet people that she can make anime with. She is a middle schooler, I want to say. Yeah, she's a middle schooler.
First year student at Shibahama High. That's what it says.
Oh, so she's in high school.
She's high school, yeah.
Okay. First time for everything. I was wrong about something.
It ain't the first time. It's the
Compared-
first time on here.
First time compared to you.
You're right. You're very
All
right.
right. So, with the basic premise in mind, because we're going to get into that, what was your first experience of watching Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken?
Well,
Oh, Lord. Sorry, guys. I had to get my little sister a little closer to the mic.
I always have these problems.
Don't
Here,
get
just
scared of it.
Turn it.
Well, see, the last time I did that, it almost failed. So I just
Okay.
okay. Hey,
Hey.
can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
I love y'all so much. Continue.
Well, first I was thinking that was just a little kid, not that she was in high school. So,
She's short.
well, I'm short too, so I guess we got a lot in common.
Oh, my God. You came off top rope with that one. Well, I'm short, do you?
You know, so No, it's quite interesting. I never seen an anime about wanting to draw anime. Normally, it's a lot of drama and issues. Somebody stole something. Somebody killed somebody. Yeah, it's always it's up there. It's like level 10 of I need revenge. I'm getting revenge, or I'm stealing whatever you stole from me back. Not some little kid that just wants to draw and do anime. So I think it's quite interesting so far.
Hey, would you rate it on, okay, if you scale of 1 to 10 on how much you liked it or didn't like it, is it closer to 1 being, oh, I hated that crap, or 10 like, oh, that's amazing, I'd watch again?
I would say a 7.
Okay. So, that's good.
Safe answer. Is that closer to watch again, or is
That's
it
closer to watch again.
Okay, I just, I
Like
mean, I know
5,
numerically.
5 would be,
but,
it was okay, I have no interest in doing it again.
Okay, just making
6
sure.
would be like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I liked it enough to where if I watched another episode, I wouldn't be,
We need to come up with a chart. I like what you're doing there.
7 is like, I'd watch it again. Like, it didn't like blow me away, but I'm interested enough.
Yeah, y'all need to get a poster board.
Yeah,
Scale.
like they do at the
Put
doctor.
it right
We
there on the
will,
wall.
and then that'll be a part of the visual aspect that is coming soon, produced by Electric Diva Studios. Anyway. I do all this random pub in the middle of the episode. But yeah, so what is your first question? Do you have a question?
I guess the age thing, because when she told her mom, I'm going to go explore, I'm like, why you going to let this little baby go explore this huge island? And y'all knew she don't know nothing. I just, in the back of my mind, like, my daddy been like, if you don't bring your butt back here to this house, you ain't going nowhere by yourself. But yeah, it was just the age thing. I'm just curious about how it's going to play out, I guess.
Okay.
Like the story. And then what's her best friend name? The tall lady that
I think that's
talk with her teeth.
She does the whole. I didn't think about that, but she does talk with her teeth.
Like
that whole
she's frozen.
episode.
Her mouth don't move. It's just, she talk like this.
That's Sayaka.
And she's money hungry.
Yeah, I like her.
Like Ed, and Eddie.
Look, she always on that hustle. You know what I mean?
Like her name could have been Edwina.
Edwina. But I'll tell you the reason why I wanted you to watch this anime specifically, because majority of the time what we try to do, or what I try to do, is steer people to things that they would have an interest in, and that's relatable to them. Because my little sister is an amazing artist. She's gonna have museums and art galleries full of her stuff. I think she probably has some art
for sale now. We should.
It'll be in. We'll put your link in the description.
Yes.
Okay.
So where you want people to go buy art. But I wanted you to watch because this is it's meta in the sense that, like you said, you've never seen an anime about them wanting to draw anime. And the way in which they do it, I have always felt was really beautiful. The thing that I love about it is that it fuels my creativity of how I felt when I was younger. Like, oh, I did used to think about the world and like the way you would explore, and you'd be like, oh, that's probably where all the alligators are or whatever. Mm-hmm. And because you draw and because of the way it was presented, like a bit of a watercolor painting, I just thought that there was a lot of enjoyable factors to this anime, because you as an artist can see, like, even if you don't do animation, the general positioning of things, the way things kind of flow and stuff like that. So I thought you would kind of appreciate that from an artist standpoint. So that's why I steered you towards this one. So, any other questions, like about like the story, any things that kind of like, because you did technically ask a question about the her mom letting her go run off or whatever, and it's generally like, because they are kind of more morally upstanding, like bad stuff still happens, so I ain't gonna, that's everywhere, but they just have a general sense of service. Like even if it's traditionally them doing stuff, she would have been fine. And that's just kind of like us, that first time you into your house going and exploring the neighborhood, like when they finally get to that age, and we don't know how old she was at that point in time. because it doesn't even say. You could tell she was young, but she's still almost about the same size.
I also think it's like the setting of the anime itself kind of seems like, I know it's on an island, but it still feels like a small village. You know what I mean? So where like you can, not to say that there's not like a city element, but it kind of has that communal kind of feeling where she could run around and potentially be safe, because more than likely the mom either knows the neighbors or is about to know the neighbors. So there's like that cultural presence.
Did you enjoy the artistic direction of it?
That's what I was going to ask.
I did. But now that I think more about it, she's giving me Eliza Thornberry vibes. Like when I first watched it, like I'm in a new place, so I'm gonna go explore.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I didn't get to do that as a kid.
I did. But I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if my mom did that on purpose or if I was just like, I'm leaving.
Probably a mix of both for me.
Probably.
But the other thing that I think is interesting about this anime in particular is it's set in a slightly futuristic time of Japan, because the way everything is set up is not like, they are crowded in a lot of different ways in terms of like whatever you presume Times Square is in New York City, it's nothing compared to Tokyo Square or just the general or Shibuya or anywhere where there's large amounts of people. It's way different. So they just move a little different. So seeing this kind of setup where you can see all the houses kind of stacked on each other, and when she's first talking about, well, yeah, they keep building this stuff, and we got the clock over here, but we look at this clock that's across the thing because we can't see that clock.
Which is crazy. Why would you put a clock facing a body of water?
Maybe,
well, I guess
maybe
for
somebody else can see it.
Fishermen's boats and stuff.
Or aesthetic value. Like maybe it's just pretty. It doesn't really have a function.
All the
it's
way
just
across the water.
just
See
pretty.
what's is that 328 or is that 332?
See, that's why they built the other one. The other one is for function. The first one is for pretty. You know what I mean?
Okay. Decoration.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is just because wherever they are, it's more like industrialized in a different way. So they were building these things, stacking stuff on top of each other, because when you don't have any up, you can always go up. It's one rule of architecture that I think I've heard before, that you can always go up.
You may not be able to go to the side, but you can
always go up.
The sky's the limit.
But I enjoyed that aspect of it. I think that kind of, in latter episodes, it'll kind of fuel understandings of different things that they're trying to do and how they're going to use things. But this general pursuit of animation and like their sketchbook, like there were so many different things that I was like, was there something that stood out to you about the anime in general that you enjoyed?
I think I just love how she just met that girl and they were already like collaborating on ideas. I think that was pretty cool. I've never done that with anybody. Like, hey, we should collab, or we would think about it, but we never like actually.
Was it so you never had that like that friend that somebody brought over that you didn't know the friend, but then it's like y'all found that one common thing to talk about? It was just like for me, one of my great friends, my brother, shout out Wordplay TJ, our thing is Pokemon. Like, or at the time it was probably stupid Power Rangers or something of that sort. But it was like, but our big thing has always been Pokemon. So it's just like we kind of just became best friends over there because it's nerd stuff. So it's just like, yeah, this is it. This is the bag. So like when you get in that bag of like, oh, you know about this too. Like if I know nothing about paintbrushes, I am a paintbrush noob. I couldn't tell you anything other than that's a paintbrush.
Yep. I just think they purdy.
That's nice.
Lord.
That's it.
Not that they purdy.
They purdy, girl. That's all I got for you.
And I could like the general mixing of colors I could kind of get to just because we get taught those.
Yeah, I know a little bit of color mixing.
But that's the thing. Like the stuff that I'm doing now, I'm trying to remember like skills that I've learned back in high school because I didn't get to that part in college, and so either I'm learning through YouTube or off memory, or I'm doing it by myself. So when it comes to like learning about paintbrushes, I know the real skinny ones make some real neat lines, and the big ones, I'm gonna use that for like the big canvases when I. But other than that, like I really couldn't tell you too much. I mean, but I think with art, it's the same with anything else. The bigger, the better. Like the names and everything. Like I don't know, like. I guess with barbers, how they have certain clippers to do certain things. They know you got those elite that everybody's like, cost a lot of money, but they gonna do what you want them to do. Like they gonna give off that quality. So with art, yeah, you got, certain paints, they gon' okay, it's cute, but then you got some, it's like, okay, they bring the color out.
Right.
Like, so yeah, I feel like I'm learning myself.
But that's exactly why I thought like you would enjoy this, because that's the general premise of it. Is they're learning these things, and you got to kind of see, because you've done background work on something or shown depth in a painting that you've done, and that kind of stuff exists as they're like layering these. Now again, it's animation, so that's a different level. But I know for 100% fact you've had a sketchbook before.
Oh yes, I have two right now.
Exactly. So. And this is kind of like that process. What that feels like is encapsulating of artistic desires, in the sense that, why do you paint? Like why do I want to create anime? Because she wants to create this world that hasn't been seen before. It's like, it's the first time that I think I've seen it so eloquently put, in terms of when she was like, well, this is why I like this. When she was over talking, she just kept going. It's like, because as you can see, they push it up like this, so you would think about this in real life, and that's why you don't question that. And like a lot of times, there's so many sci-fi things that we'll watch on TV, and we don't question it, because the general premise of what it is that they're doing is similar to something in reality. Like, even though, like lightsabers for years, and then there was no questioning of them. Even though general premise of like light coming out like that, it wouldn't like encapsulate to a sword's length. It would just keep going, and you wouldn't even be able to control it. But
even if you could, the concept that light would be able to injure or burn you, or hurt you or harm you in some way.
Well,
if
the
you did
laser aspect of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's just more of like having directional control over a heated laser kind of thing.
Were y'all weird like me when I got one as a kid, and I really thought I could hurt people with it? Or was that just me?
No, not
okay.
But that's the other thing, their imagination. Like, so there's a part in the episode where you don't even notice that
it's switched over.
That they switched into their imagination. Like, you think, okay, because there are a lot of times, like I said, this is like a big imagination notebook. It's pretty much like a sketchbook. Like, everything feels hand drawn. Like, even though there's parts where I know that there's 3D animation instilled in it, which I normally hate, because they use it so terribly in animation. It's just a cost cutting kind of thing, and it's just like, there's no reason for this to be here. But with this, you could kind of see really cool aspects of it. I mean, it would be real subtle, and you'd like have to like be looking like that to catch all of it. But I find it endearing and very cool. Like I said, that's why I wanted you to watch it, because I think that as an artist, when you're trying to be creative or think about what you're going to paint next, you have a big aspiration of, it's not like, okay, or some, it's not always like, okay, I just want to paint a picture of a girl with an afro. I want to paint the essence of black girl magic, or whatever thought that like comes across your head, is you want to paint the essence of that. And you don't define what people get from it. You have your own thought of what you want from it, but then when people see it, when y'all do y'all painting tips, like even when I look at any of the art that we have in our home, that has been done over the years, of the art that I've seen, there's different interpretations that you can get from it. And I think this anime eloquently represents that, because we don't know what they're going to get in the next couple episodes or something like that, or where they're ultimately going to get, but we're willing to go on the ride with them. And I think that that's just kind of beautiful in a different sense, because there's I always forget the name of it. I think it's Bakuman. I think because I always like. I think it's Bakuman is the name of the anime or manga about making manga and anime. Like it's supremely meta. Like it's all of those things. Like they go through the entire. That's not it.
Mm-mm.
It's
That's a Digimon.
Yep, Bakuman.
like MAN, not MON.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was like, nope, not Mon.
So it is MAN.
Yeah, M-A-N.
Also, I was right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like,
Yeah, no, you're right.
You
I
better
just
kill me.
misunderstood your
Nope.
pronunciation there.
Nope, that's Digimon.
Yeah,
Yes, you do.
because I was like, nope.
No, Bakuman
Bakuman
is the Digimon.
And that's why I said it's Bakuman is the Digimon. That's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah,
but
no,
evidently I was wrong.
So it's about the general process of everything they have to do over there. So like seeing this perspective purely from the artist standpoint is so beautiful in a lot of different ways. Did you enjoy the art of it? Like, were there parts where it's just like, oh, like I think like this when I'm painting?
I really like how when they were collaborating and they were getting in the ship, I noticed that some stuff wasn't colored inside the lines. Or it wasn't full. And I guess they did that to let us know, like, we're not fully, like, this isn't their reality. Like, this is, like, when she was a stick figure, I was thinking that was just her going through her journey a little bit. But then when it panned over to her actually just staring out the window, I'm like, oh, okay, like, she was daydreaming. I thought that was cool. But when I get an idea in my head that, okay, I'm going to paint this, first thing I'm like, okay, well, let me sketch it out because I want to make sure it's going to come out just like that because I could think of something and I try to draw and I'm like, yeah, I thought. Yeah, I thought. Which is funny. I'm part of this. I believe it's the group that you added me to.
The Black Girl Craft.
Somebody had a canvas and they said, I messed up the front, so this is my picture. And they signed the bottom like that was the art. And I'd be like, yeah, I got a few canvases like that. But yeah, when I first get an idea, I first want to sketch it. And then as soon as I sketch it, I'm like, I got to paint this. Like, I got to put it in color. So I don't know. What I'm learning is that I do need to pace myself because as soon as I have the idea, I want somebody else to see it. And so I do get overly excited like she was. And I'm like, and I'll lock myself up in my room like all day and just, it was like, how long did it take you? I was like, well,
let's see. I closed the door at 6. Now, when I went to bed, I don't really know.
Like, no, that, it was actually my first time posting my art last year on Facebook, the blue Afro lady. I had sketched that at work. And I went home and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to put it on the canvas. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to paint a little bit. It's Friday. I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. Let me go ahead and just throw a little more. And then I didn't go sleep till like 3 o'clock. But I finished it though. So, hey. But yeah.
But that's the anime. Like I literally, there are so many different things that I've gotten from it. There was a reason why I wanted to watch it, which was it made me think about imagination. The reason I wanted Prima Diva to watch it is because with the film stuff they talk about the different shots and the different aspects of it. I think were things that I think would feed to her, and then like with you, it literally just says Disha would do this, and so I think it's multifaceted in a way of entry level anime because I don't think it's something that's like, man, what is this? Like you said, it's not about revenge. It's not about being overly dramatic. I mean, all anime is dramatic to some degree, but this you can kind of understand because, like you said, you get caught up in those same kind of conversations, emotions, and creating, and it just speaks to that. You were about to say.
I was gonna ask, because one of the things that came to my mind when you first showed it to me, and then again when we watched it this time, was like writing, and I know that you write too. I don't know if you are still working on a book.
I'm just writing for me right
I'll
now.
write that. But I mean, like as a writer and stuff, because I know when I write fiction, for example, like I do get caught up in that space like that where I see the world, I feel the world. It has color, it has space. It doesn't look like my everyday. So when they went into their imagination, that's what I was thinking about. Was like when I come out of that space and they were like, oh, I feel like something amazing just happened. Like we just went somewhere. That's how I feel when I like finally pull out of writing. So I was just going to ask you, like, when you write, whether it's a memory or whatever, does that happen?
Well, when I'm writing, it looks like reality to me. Like it's more of a daydream. Like I'm not really conscious of what's going on. Like I'm just trying to get as much detail as I can while I'm stuck in that moment, like on paper. So like if I was writing about this moment, I'm like, okay, Kanae sitting over here doing this. Joe was staring at me even though I'm not looking at him. Like I'm trying like I'm just, like I'm just in that moment just trying to get it all that. I don't really think like it looks different to me or anything like that. So
yeah.
So overall, what would be your takeaways from this anime? What things you like, even things you didn't like the total gambit of how you felt about watching it?
In all, I like it. It's always a good thing when you see someone, especially someone that shares a like for something like you or somebody that's passionate about something, seeing them get overly excited about it. That's cool. Like, and then someone I know, they had a canvas, and I've been doing acrylic paint pours too. And so she had a canvas in her office, and I was looking at it, and she asked me about it. And me not even knowing, like I just started explaining. I'm like, yeah, I bet you he did this, and this, and that. And she was just looking at me in amazement, like, wow, you took all of that just from looking at him. Like, yeah, because I've done it before. So, yeah, I know he probably twisted the canvas this way so it can pour that way. Like, she was like, whoa.
But that's the enjoyable thing I think about anime, or why I like doing this segment, is because a lot of times people think, man, I don't watch that crap. Ain't nothing there for me. Like we watched Sailor Moon, or we watched Dragon Ball Z, or we watched whatever was on Toonami at the time, if people still watched it, like before it got like ridiculously terrible with the Funimation dubs. But it's exciting to me to do this segment to kind of like show, like, no, the shows you like your favorite kind of shows are here too. I think that there are a lot of variations that you would enjoy. Like I said, because there's a whole nother one about that. There's one that's Mob Psycho 100 is my favorite in terms of like artistic explosion and great direction.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that.
But there are definitely I know I can find one that's like purely about art and painting and
we kind of
things of that nature.
We kind of like we've seen a couple that were about anime at this point. There was that other one that was about all those girls living in that house that were animators.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Because it's about like these girls who I think they're in high school too, or they're older than either they're in high school or older than that.
Yeah.
And we actually might have you watch that one because that one's kind of cute and funny. But they're like they all have different styles. Like one of them does smut. And so she can't like draw certain aspects of stuff in smut. So they're like trying to teach each other how to draw like different things. So like kind of like when y'all have y'all painting sips and you're like, well, you should probably do this or try to like when you're explaining the different aspects.
Can they tell me this don't look right?
No.
How I fix this?
When Deisha, you mean when Deisha is teaching us is what's happening? Well, like we are just here.
I'll be like, just do your own
thing. Deisha, please fix it. No, fix it.
But yeah, there's varying degrees, and that's what we're trying to bring to people, is to show you that anime can be for you too. And there's a lot of different animes that are very much like that desire sometimes that you have for like, man, I wish Rugrats all grown up wouldn't have been terrible.
Right?
They
didn't fully conceptualize what would have happened to those kids if they grew up. That's what the problem was. It wasn't fully realized. Okay.
I think a part of me
didn't take a chance.
I think a part of me just wanted them to stay how they were, but just older. Like I wanted Tommy to still be adventurous and
that it's really simple. Like,
and Chucky to still have to get over his fears.
Yeah, we all grow up and actually kind of do the things that we wanted to do, or in some real way. Like, okay, I always wanted to, like, okay, prime example, and this will be an example I'll give before we close. like if you play Pokemon and you're interested in the not anthropology, yeah, right? Is that the word?
Anthropology?
Anthropology. That is the better word, not anthropology. I'm trying to make animal into the word. Anyway. Yes. What
Okay,
you
is
said.
that what you want?
Yes,
Okay.
that-
I want
that's
to make
what I
sure
want.
that's where you were going.
Anyway, so if you're interested in the study of animals,
Is that what that is? I don't know that that's what that is.
well, you gave it to me, so that's what I'm
because
using.
that's what it sounded like
If
you were
I'm
saying.
wrong, you're wrong.
I'm okay with being wrong. I've got a history of that on this show. No, it's the study of human society.
Oh, not
That's why
anthropology.
What are you trying to? The study of animals?
Yeah. In my head, I
Is that
can't
biology?
think of it. No.
Zoology?
Thank you. Zoology. Good God. That's the
What
easier one. I
is
don't know where I
going
got.
on?
But anyway, my bigger point as I stumble all over myself is that when you play that game, you might grow up and be a zoologist because the whole premise of it is catching these creatures and you catch them all. There's different varieties, there's different kinds. That was the general thought process when he created the game in the first place. It's because he had that kind of interest, and then you see all these different types and like how nowadays they do different forms of certain Pokemon. Like if they lived in a certain place, then this is why they're not like what they're like over here.
Yeah.
Like bees, ants, whatever the case may be, they all have different forms. So same thing here. Like you just kind of find those things in anime and you relate to them and they kind of expound. And, you know, they got a lot that'll let you down, but there's a lot that'll inspire you and kind of create a bridge to those things you wish had been animated. They animate them. So everything that they're thinking about, they actually do. So I appreciate
I just got one more thing to say about the Rugrats.
Oh, go ahead.
You know, they got lost in the jungle in the forest in the Rugrats movie. And then,
First Rugrats movie. Yep.
And they was causing all that chaos in Paris. And then you mean to tell me they grow up and they just...
Boring. They boring. They regular boring teenagers.
That's my thing. Like you had...
Tommy should have been a private investigator, like what's her name, Veronica Mars or something. Like
he
he should have been.
This will be a
zoologist
or Fillmore. Zoology, like the detective Fillmore.
No,
Fillmore was
archaeology.
Cool.
He could have been an archaeologist.
He could have been an archaeologist. That's true.
This will be a great episode to do. Nick, one of these times we're going to do cartoons.
Saturday morning cartoons.
That should have been animes.
Yeah.
Because they would have been done better. Because that probably would have been better or probably would have been handled differently. Or cartoons we wish were animes because they just, would have been cool. But
I can think of a few right now. But all right.
So, Desha, tell them where they can get in touch with you and follow you and all that good stuff.
You can't because I'm a ghost. No, I'm just playing.
What? I was say, anyone who wants to talk to her has to go through me.
Hey, listen.
You and these sound effects.
That's what they're here for.
Wow. Okay, so my Facebook is Raydesha Denise. That's RAYD as in David, E as in elephant, SHA.
Call center life.
I know it looks like Raydesha. Some of y'all say, yeah. Oh, I've heard Raydesha, Raynisha, even though there's no N in my name. Raydesha, like Khadija. Raydesha, RAYDESHA, and Denise is spelled with an S, not a C. But that's what people say. So
look like that.
And I also have
there's no day in her name.
Let her finish telling people where to follow her. Stop
baffled.
interrupting.
You're right. I'm sorry.
You're baffled. It's my name. Imagine how I feel.
Yes.
And then I also have a Facebook page just for my art by Ray D. So y'all can look my stuff up on there. As well as my Instagram. It's the same. I just decided to make it all the same. I was like, why I got all these names?
Easy to find. Yeah, that's what I plan on doing.
And that's RAYDEE. Correct?
Art by Ray D. Yes. Yeah. And then look at you. Come on, high five. And then my Instagram is the same, Raydesha Denise. So
thank you. And then make sure you follow us at Icarus _Gray on Instagram. Icarus Gray, all one word, on Twitter. At Prima Diva Red on Instagram.
So you know which one it is, baby.
And at Prima Diva
On the Twitters.
He doesn't sound so enthusiastic.
It's because, first of all, he jumped in and did my job again. But,
I didn't
you
jump
know,
in.
yeah, you did. Yeah,
You said
did.
you wanted to start doing that.
No. You asked. And
Yeah,
I said,
guess.
of course. That's generally how it goes, guys.
I kind of expected her to flub it up, so I went and did it right. Anyway,
so
that
this
was a
is
joke.
It's a bad joke.
Boo. But go ahead, Deja. You were saying?
No, I was just gonna say y'all do this all the time, huh? Even on the podcast. This is hilarious. I love hanging around y'all.
Stuff don't change.
At all.
Stuff don't change.
Anyway, make sure y'all go comment and subscribe and do all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. A peace.